and welcome back to Digitise This, the podcast from PFUE Limited, a RECO company, where we explore how intelligent capture and workflow automation are transforming the way organisations work. I'm your host, Steve Chadd, and in this series, we're talking to experts, partners, and leaders from across PFUE's ecosystem to uncover the strategies that drive productivity, compliance, and innovation. In our first episode, we looked at the Channel Partner Programme, and today we're turning the spotlight on product leadership, how PFUE develops, launches, and evolves products that solve the real challenges our customers and partners face. We'll be joined by Brian Fortune, who leads the sales organisation at PFUE, alongside product management leader Tony Lillico. Let's get started. So, before we get into the details, Brian, let me ask you this first. From the sales side, what are the biggest pain points that you're hearing from customers and partners right now?
Hi, Steve. Yeah. Okay, that's a really good question. Mm-hmm. I would say probably the biggest pain point that we're hearing right now, there's a disconnect developing, Steve. And the disconnect is between the needs of companies and the ability of the market to deliver to those needs. And let me explain that, because the automation and the requirement to automate is growing exponentially. Automation isn't just something which happens at large enterprise level. So all organizations are looking to automate. They're all looking to streamline their processes, make them more efficient. And the need for those high-end capture features exists everywhere, not just at an enterprise level. And traditionally, those types of features that people now need have only really been available in licensing models that were set up really for the enterprise. And I think that this has created a bottleneck. It's stifling companies, smaller, medium-sized companies to evolve, to streamline their process, and it has to be addressed. And this is a huge pain point for the market right now.
Okay, yeah, not so much an availability question, more of an accessibility question, isn't it?
I think so. And you know, PFU, we are here to answer these types of questions. That's you know, we see it. So we have to address it.
And Tony, when you think about those challenges that Brian's just outlined, how does the product team decide where to focus? What's the philosophy behind PFUE's approach to product leadership?
I think in general, our PFU are the market leader, and we cover all aspects of document scanning with about 30 hardware products and about 10 software products. The general approach is around evolution of those products, listening to what's going on in the market and evolving the key parts of our portfolio accordingly. I think our mainstream workgroup product is actually on its 6th generation at the moment, right. And we've added features as they've been required. We've added technology as it's been required. But on occasions, we have taken a jump and brought in something completely new. We did this when we launched the PaperStream NX Manager with the FI 7300 NX. And we did this when we launched Direct Scan with the FI 8040, in both cases to take account of the differing ways people want to build scanning technology into their own solutions.
Yeah, and you know, Tony, just listening to you say that now, I completely, you know, when you say we're on the 6th generation of, you know, I can just see now how we've taken our customers on that journey as well. You know, I've been 21 years in the business now, can you believe it? You know, I wasn't there probably for the 1st generation, but certainly from the 2nd generation onwards. And I can see how customers have evolved with us through that journey as well, which has been really exciting for us. So you're absolutely right. You know, we have evolved over those years, and we've taken new features all the time. And that's one of the areas of focus. And certainly from a sales perspective, that's one of the values that people repeatedly tell us. You've been here with us all that time. You've been on that journey with us. And
And I think a key part of it is to really stay on top of the technology. We're constantly monitoring what's going on in the technology world.
That's
We're
right.
talking to our customers, hearing or listening to what their challenges are, listening to their feedback, and listening to what they want to do with their
Exactly
business, and building our portfolio and roadmap accordingly.
And that's one thing they always say that they value from us is that we don't just visit them when we're there to sell something. We come back time and time again afterwards to see how they're getting on, to see how the technology is fitting their needs, and we build that into our evolution. That's part of the relationship we have with our customers.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. So shifting that focus from where we've come from to what's coming up in the future. In your opinion, Brian, what would you say are the long-term drivers in the market right now that you think are influencing not just what customers need today, but what they're going to be needing in the next few years?
Well, that's not a short answer, Steve. So, right, let me try and phrase this like this. First of all, I would say that generally people have this idea that paper is declining, and I would say there are a lot more digitally native processes, but the reality is that the market for document scanners is not declining. So so there's more transformation happening out there, and there's more room for that transformation to take place as well. So that's the first. So let's bottom that out straight away. What I would say is, moving forward, we have perhaps a little bit more separation within demand. PFUE are really in a great place now to take advantage of that and to support our partners to deliver those solutions. So first of all, we're seeing digitization at the point at which companies or governments meet or interact with consumers or citizens. So, that interaction is taking place at that. And that interaction might be as simple as capturing an ID. So when we're talking about a document, we're not always talking about a piece of paper here. So that might be an ID or an ID card or a passport, and we can scan those things. Tony, I think that's one thing that, from a product management perspective, we really fed back into development in the early days.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's happening. So we can onboard people really, really quickly. So that's fantastic. And so we have that. And then on the higher end, we're seeing people digitizing their archives, because within that archive is hidden a lot of content which can support the decisions that organizations make going forward. So rather than using sourced in content to make those artificial intelligence driven decision making process, why not use your own organizational data? So that's the key thing here. But what we're seeing moving forward now is more of a need, I think, to support some of the requirements that we're starting to see around security and preservation, authenticity. We're really exploring, from a hardware side, we're exploring this idea around trusted devices. From a software side of things, we're looking at C2PA, or the C2PA, which is big. Is you've got some of the biggest names in tech behind that. That's the insurance that this document has provenance and authenticity. So that's a big thing moving forward. So we're looking at that very carefully. And of course, you also have big drivers around secure eVault storage. So you have ISO, I think it's 25476, I think it is, very new secure digital eVault technology. And I'm really proud to say this, by the way, but PFU employees were part of the panel in that ISO certification process to make that a real thing, to make that actually happen for people. So we were part of that architects behind that standard. So we're seeing security standards. We're seeing IDAS version 2 or IDAS V2, as it's known in certain European countries, that's coming in. So I would say big drivers in the future is going to be around the security within the document, around the security around how it's preserved, the authenticity. Companies are prepared to invest now big in ensuring that they mitigate some of the risks within their business, and that their documents are legally admissible, that they have an audit trail from capture all the way through to the point at which it has to be presented in a court of law. And that authenticity piece is critical moving forward. So, like I said, not a short answer.
Comprehensive one though.
But I tell you, it's an opportunity. It's really an opportunity for us and our industry to provide the answers to the marketplace, and these are the questions that are being asked.
So how does PFUE balance immediate partner demands with preparing for what's coming down the road? Who wants to take this one?
I think it's a combination, really. I think if you're looking forward at what's going to happen in the markets, you're close to what's happening in standardization, as Brian highlighted. If you're close to how our existing customers are digitizing their business and the new opportunities that are coming along, then you can build your roadmap around those new features.
That's it.
And it's better to plan ahead than react. But we have built our processes for reacting, and where we come up with customers who have got an immediate challenge, we've got a process in place so we can get our technical guys in front of those customers, define whatever modifications are required to our existing or products under development, and ensure that we meet those requirements either as a special one-off for that customer, or actually by building it into the products that we already have.
Exactly, Tony. And to meet the requirements, you have to be aware of them. And in some cases, Steve, we're not just aware of them, we're helping to architect them. So, for instance, Secure eVault, we were part of the process at the ISO panel to write that. We play a big part in the Twain organization, which is a global organization which supports all manufacturers, obviously, and the Twain organization has become an affiliate member of the C2PA, so they're really involved now in architecting that technology for the future as well. So we're involved in it. We are pushing to ensure that these standards exist so that we can deliver the products. But we're also talking about it right now because they're big issues right now for our customers. We're already starting to deliver some of the solutions around that, around redaction in capture, and to secure as best we can without the full certificates available just yet. But it's an evolving marketplace.
It's like we're defining the future while remaining adaptable and agile enough to bring some parts of that actually into what's happening today if the opportunity needs it. That's
I would say it's a good way of putting it, Steve.
So, Tony, could you walk us through how you're seeing customer pain points evolving into actual product development decisions? How does that work at PFUE?
Yeah, I think in the organization in general, I think you're probably aware we're split between a PFUE EMEA organization and our organization in Japan that does the actual product development. And I think we work very closely together to look at the market. And yes, our responsibility is for EMEA market. Sometimes markets are the same around the world. Sometimes they can be very, very different. We work closely with customers across our footprint in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Get feedback. Start to consider that and the implications for our roadmap, and we get in front of our engineers. And you don't really just have a scanner engineer. There's a whole load of fields of expertise that we have in our team in Japan. Part of that is the mechanics of scanners, and we're probably the world experts in feeding pieces of paper through a machine because we've been doing that 40, 50 years. We know everything that can go wrong. We've got solutions for anything, and so definitely a key area of expertise. And you can see in our latest scanners that the technology for actually monitoring the flow of paper through the scanners is changing. We have customers with whole loads of different environments. Maybe it's a slightly damp environment. What you find is that we can actually create differentiation because we understand how it all works. We're not we're not just relying on a theory that sometimes people who don't have that expertise are doing. So mechanics is one part, then the actual optics in terms of capturing the image. Again, technology is evolving in that space. Processing that image to ensure it's most effective in terms of whether we want to use the image or we want to capture data from the image. So moving into technologies like OCR, and then the whole process stuff around what file types we put the image into, how we compress it, how much memory it's going to take, how what metadata we include in the file. So again, there's a whole load of expertise there, and that is extending with time into some of these new solutions that Brian has highlighted in terms of ID. Ensuring that we can verify who's actually captured the document and that is actually genuine.
And it's in the metadata, Tony, as well, isn't it?
Exactly. And again, maintaining the security of the document as we change the way we work. When we had a scanner connected to a PC via a USB cable, then yes, it was all self-contained. Now we're working in network environment, security becomes more and more important, and we are the experts in that field. So we pull these experts together. We look at how we can ensure that the solution that we're delivering, which is a combination of hardware and software, is going to be fit for purpose for what the customer needs to do.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good relationship that we have, actually, in terms of the feedback loops within the organization from Europe back to Japan, and also from the US back to Japan. I think it's really important because standards evolve in different places. Legislation compliance evolves in different places. Like, for instance, at the moment we have a scenario whereby the EU Artificial Intelligence Act is coming out, which requires that there is a so-called adequate human oversight as part of a process, and you can apply that to capture as well. But there isn't such legislation in the US, just yet. So, we might be the voice of that within the organization globally at the moment to ensure that we're preparing for that. But ultimately, at some point, we'll see the need for that in the US. And sometimes the US have legislation or regulation that they are having to address, and then the European Union and other global countries are catching up in terms of their legislation. So the way we're configured for that, is quite good. You generally, when it's a big piece of compliance, generally it pops up in some form everywhere. So, and we might be ahead of it in Europe right now, and the US might be ahead on something else. So it works quite well, I think.
That's nice. Yeah, it sounds very much like our global diversity of experience and needs actually all feed in to give the engineering team a really good picture of what might be needed in the future and what's likely is.
Yeah, pretty much. It works well. It works well.
Moving on to hardware leadership. We know that PFUE scanners, and especially the FI series, have a reputation for being reliable, trusted, and market leading. So, Tony, how do you see hardware continuing to play a leadership role in our market?
I think it is through evolution based on the expertise that we've got in this field, particularly in our team in Japan. Yes, paper requirements or paper feeding requirements are evolving. There is very much a greater need to build scanners into solutions, and that's probably where the biggest challenges and opportunities arise. And we're at the front of technology in that space.
So coming back to you, Brian, you said PFUE is moving strongly into chargeable software products. What role does software like PaperStream Capture Pro play in helping partners and customers automate their workflows?
Well, like I said at the beginning, actually, of our conversation, Steve, I said there was a little bit of a disconnect between what the market actually needed and what the market was used to delivering. So the disconnect was that people needed higher end capture features, but the licensing models didn't really fit or weren't fit for purpose for the actual need. So PaperStream Capture Pro and Pro Premium last year we launched it obviously into it as a subscription-based model. It's now a subscription chargeable product, and we evolved the product quite considerably. It's really now a very high-end professional solution, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples related to that. So when it comes to capture, capture is interesting. You capture a document. That's basically what it is. But ultimately, it's what you do with the content within that document that really, really counts, particularly when you're capturing as part of a process. What PaperStream Capture Pro and Pro Premium, I'm really proud of this product now because it's evolved into something which is really quite special. So from an extraction perspective, we are now extracting non-cursive handwritten text.
Really?
Okay. So we're extracting handwritten text. We're extracting printed text, so your traditional OCR. Okay. We have a full host of barcode support now, Tony, in the product. We can do check and tick marks, so for surveys, etc., etc. But we're not just capturing that; we're capturing it as an individual check mark or tick. It's a combination of ticks, so we can capture clustered. And the point here that I'm making is that ultimately all of that information can be captured, whether it's handwritten, whether it's printed, whether it's a barcode, and fed into the application. So live data into the application. Not just that, but we have form-based redaction as well within the product itself. So we're redacting PII, or personal identifiable information, getting back to this idea where, people are really focused on security and securing personal information. I think that's a key driver for organizations these days. And that is really critical because these are really high value features that we're talking about now. And then the licensing of it, in the past, these features you could buy, but they're enterprise level software packages. And normally it was on a cost per click basis, which when you don't really understand or know how much you're going to actually scan, you could be spending quite an inordinate amount of money to do your processes, whilst actually with PaperStream Capture Pro and Pro Premium, you pay an annual subscription. You can capture as many as you like. Knock yourself out. You can buy a fast scanner and scan to your heart's content and extract that information. You don't have to pay any extra. And that's why I say that I really feel now that we are meeting a requirement in the market for high-end capture-related features, but at a really affordable price. So that's really exciting for us, I think.
It is. Yeah, we know that PaperStream has gone from primarily being a tool to optimize PFUE scanners, RICO scanners, in fact, to a platform that works across any scanner. So, Tony, in your opinion, what does that shift mean for the market?
So I think if you are going down the route for premium offering, then many big organizations that want those premium offerings have got more than just standard PFU document scanners. Some of them have got specialist scanners, some of them using MFPs, maybe some of them are even using competitor scanners. But I think by having software that will work with all of those scanners, we open the door to be able to say to businesses, you can choose PaperStream, knowing that you've got almost the best or the world's best scanning software, and it's going to work with anything that you can throw at it from a scanner perspective, and therefore they can rely on that without having to worry about it being only for PFU or RICO branded scanners.
It opens the PaperStream value to a whole wide new range of potential customers.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And how does subscription-based software change the way that PFU delivers continuous improvement, would you say?
Naturally, we're always looking to improve our software with time. I think that the business model of subscription allows that to be done more effectively. Exactly. And I think also, we launched 5.0 with the subscription model. As we moved to 5.2, we made some significant enhancements to the way updates are delivered once that software is installed, so that it can be done very, very simply with the minimal human intervention. So in effect, you're going to end up with a situation where the customer can be confident that their scanner software is always up to date, without them having to go online to check whether there are any updates available.
And that's the beauty of the model, really, isn't it? I mean, a subscription model, you know, the more you sell it, the more interaction you're having with your customer, the more you're identifying new needs, new opportunities. And okay, some people have fairly narrow requirements that maybe just specifically for them, but quite often, and even already, we're running into opportunities to develop or add additional features to based upon customer need. And of course, you know, there are other customers who need that as well. So we're an organization that always listens to the customers. We've already found several examples already in the last year or so where we've identified features which are required by the customer, but then benefit everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the evolution of the product. And that's the beauty of the subscription model. You know, if you're evolving the product, you're subscribing to the product, you're always getting that features. You know, we're updating regularly. So that's the beauty of it.
That's lovely. A little bit earlier, Tony, you mentioned the scale of PFUE's engineering team in Japan. What would you say sets that team apart from competitors? And how does that impact the quality of products that get to market?
I think it really comes down to experience, and you don't develop a world-leading team overnight. And the team we've got in Ishikawa province in Japan has been developing expertise in scanning technology and all the related fields for 30, 40 years now. And many of the staff have been there during that period. Others have come in and out of university, been trained in that technology, developed a focus on the areas that surround scanning and the processing of images. And actually, we do have a world-leading team there that is almost irreplaceable, and it probably isn't matched anywhere else. And yes, you can recruit a whole load of people with expertise in different areas, but to form that together into a team that works really well in the way that the PFU team in Japan does is probably nigh on impossible.
How important would you say localization is, not just in terms of language, but tailoring solutions for very different customer contexts?
I mean, normally when you're answering to opportunity or requirements, there's an element of local regulation or compliance that you're addressing or dealing with as well. Unless you know what that is, you can't really advise or support your customer to be able to address the issue or the problem. So nobody wakes up thinking, "Oh, I need to buy a scanner or some capture software today." There's always a reason behind that.
Yeah.
So you know, you have to be on top of your countries. We've got a great team actually around, but we've also got an unbelievable network of partners who not just address or know their markets from a regulation or compliance perspective, but the verticals within those markets as well. So there is some standardization across some of the main European countries, although each country does interpret EU regulation slightly differently. So even within that, it's not straightforward. But yeah, you have to understand what the market drivers are. You have to understand the conditions in order to be able to support and help your partner to deliver the solution.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on to a section where we asked a few of our partners about what they had to say about how PFUE supports them during product launches. Let's hear what they said.
One of the best things about PFU's launches is the fact that everything is available as a reseller straight away. So all the marketing information, it's freely available for me on the partner portal, so I can update my website straight away. I'm not waiting around like other manufacturers that say they'll send me the information. Everything's there in a one-stop location, so it enables my website to be updated immediately.
The key thing and the best thing about the product launches for PFU and the materials is it gets delivered all at one go. You know, it doesn't drip through in bits and bobs, you know, in little bits. And there's always backed by fantastic, well-planned webinars. So again, it gives us something to talk to the resellers about. we all go on there, we all learn. The actual webinars are so well planned. There's a lot of work gone into them, and that's the main thing for me. It makes it so easy, compared to other vendors. It's just a step above the rest.
So PFU's launch products are very interactive. They invite you to a webinar to show you the product and discuss the functions and features before you can look at the product. I like the way that they also give you access to demo machines, so we can actually go and look at them. I'm pretty privileged in going to their Uxbridge office if I've got any questions and stuff like that, so I can see the product firsthand. There's nothing worse than obviously going and sell a product and trying to install it and not seeing it before. So that gives me the confidence to actually know, and my customer the confidence that I know what I'm doing. The materials and everything that I need to sell it, the brochures and everything to do with the specs are available on the partners portal, so I can update websites immediately and get the product to market straight away from the launch.
PFU's products have helped us differentiate in the market purely because their products are well thought out. They've got a product for every need out there, whether it's a certain vertical or horizontal. There will be a product that we can say to that customer that this will do the job because it's specifically got this in mind. A few loose examples: the FI 800R with the passport scanning, ID scanning. That allowed us to target specific customers we know that sell well into hotels or the leisure industry, even onboarding in universities. It really is a key product, and I find with all their products there's always that thought behind it about why they're making this product and what verticals, horizontals they can target this at. That makes it so much easier for us to talk to resellers about it. It's not just a scanner, it scans pages. There's a specific thing that this will do and help your customer achieve what they need to do. So the impact on the most recent product launch, which is the iX2500, has been quite good, because we've sold out and we're waiting for new stock to arrive, which is fantastic. But the good thing about these products and the product launches, as I've touched on before, it's been well thought out. It's been delivered with a fantastic webinar, which has given us calls to call our resellers, because obviously whenever a new ScanSnap comes out, it's always quite exciting. And the webinar just really did a lot of the hard work for us. And with that as well, we're going back to promotions, and always the promotions being on the portal on time. We've got a fantastic, promotion with a free shredder at the moment, which is just amazingly complements that product, because it is aimed at the all-round admin person, someone that's going to be doing, a bit of an all-rounder in the office, and the shredder just, tops it off nicely. So the impact in our business as well, we've got a lot of people asking for it, and we've run out now. So, we're waiting for new stock, which you can't ask for more, right?
So
wow!
After hearing that, right, and Tony,
there you go. Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's lovely to hear. What would you say stands out for you in terms of how we differentiate for our partners?
Well, you can tell the partnership level first of all, so that's fantastic. And we know these people for years. We've been working with these people for years. We understand their needs, the partners' needs as well, which is different to the ultimate end users' needs. And we are here to serve them. That's the point. Without our channel, we don't really exist, do we? So and it's great to hear that.
Yeah, it's good to get that feedback.
Okay, so let's wrap up with some takeaways. Here's one more question here. If a partner or customer was listening today, what was the one thing that they should remember about PFUE's approach to product leadership? Who wants to take this one?
I'll go first, Tony.
Yeah. So
first of all, we've led the market, and we've been a premium brand market leader literally since the start of the. And the reason for that is really because we've evolved not just the product, but we've evolved our way of taking that to the market for supporting our customers. I would say that you need to get yourself onto the channel program, get yourself registered on there, look for the opportunities to evolve your business alongside ours, because our product range is evolving. We've got PaperStream Capture Pro and Pro Premium now. There's fantastic new hardware being launched all the time. we're helping and supporting you to address the needs of your customers. And you can grow as an organization alongside of us. So there's opportunities for that growth as well. So get involved and tell us what you need as well, because we're here to work with you. So and Tony?
Yeah, I think I'd probably just add, I think it's pretty clear that we are the number one scanner business worldwide. We've got the strongest team of developers and people working on our product, both hardware, software, and I just say work with us because you can be part of the story.
Did you say one thing?
I did.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, we're giving value every second here. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So for someone who hasn't tried it yet, why should they request an evaluation license for PaperStream Capture Pro? And what would you say would be the quickest win that they could see?
Right. You need to get an evaluation license. It is completely free. One of the nicest features of PaperStream Capture Pro and Pro Premium, I don't know if you agree with this, Tony, but is the Easy Profile Builder. The product is stacked full of unbelievable features, and but you don't have to be you don't have to be a rocket scientist, let's put it like this, to build a profile for Capture. I would suggest that something that might have taken, perhaps with an alternative product, maybe a day or at least a few hours to build a profile, let's say to scan a passport and to extract all the MRZ data at the bottom of the passport in order to put that into a workflow. I would say that you could probably build that profile using the Easy Profile Builder in 3-4 minutes. Would you say, Tony? 3-4 minutes, including scanning the passport, getting the image, automatically extracting all of that really rich metadata from the MRZ content with high accuracy, by the way, and passing the image and the metadata in a separate file, text file, or whatever you need into the application. And it's literally as simple as a couple of minutes.
You did say typically, several hours, possibly a day, down to 4 minutes.
Yeah. And that's important, because, maybe your capture needs might be evolving and you might have to scan a different batch of documents, and the amount of time that you have with the Easy Profile Builder, I think there's maybe 4 templates now available, which is the starting point to build out your profile. Yeah. It's just such a clever feature. It really is.
Time savings alone from that.
Unbelievable time savings. So download the evaluation license completely free, and then challenge yourself with an Easy Profile build.
Yeah, find out what you can do with it.
Yeah,
exactly. Have a play around with it, see what you can do.
Yeah, it's a brilliant feature.
Thank you very much.
No, it's great. It's great talking to you.
Thanks very much, Dave.
That's it for today's episode of Digitise This. A huge thank you to my guests Brian Fortune and Tony Lillico, and to our partners for sharing their perspectives. We've heard how PFUE is listening to the market, innovating through both hardware and software, and helping partners deliver more value to their customers. If you'd like to see this in action, don't forget you can request a free evaluation license of PaperStream Capture Pro at paperstreamcapturepro.com. The link is in today's show notes. And make sure to subscribe to Digitise This on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube so that you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening. I'm Steve Chadd, and this has been Digitise This.